some of these
No,
people?
I hate that when they put me in the same club with them.
Actor John Wayne is back in California after a 3-week stay in Boston at Massachusetts General Hospital, where he underwent open heart surgery.
John Wayne, a name synonymous with rugged masculinity, strength, and patriotism, has long been an icon in American cinema. Known as the Duke, his tough guy roles shaped the image of the quintessential American hero. But behind the camera, Wayne led a life far more complicated than the characters he portrayed. Decades after his death, startling revelations continue to surface, questioning the truth behind his image. What secrets lay hidden within his mansion, and what mysteries still surround the Hollywood legend? Before we explore the secrets that lie beneath the surface of John Wayne's life, let's first understand how this man became one of the most beloved icons of American film. The making of an icon. John Wayne's rise to stardom is a testament to his resilience, grit, and the perseverance that defined his career. Born Marion Robert Morrison on May 26, 1907 in Winterset, Iowa, his early years were far from glamorous. Raised in a middle-class family, Wayne's childhood was shaped by modest beginnings, and his life in Iowa lacked the markers of fame that would come later. In 1914, seeking better prospects, the Morrison family moved to Southern California, where Wayne's life would take a significant turn. Wayne's youth in California was unremarkable, but it set the stage for his eventual pursuit of a career in Hollywood. As a teenager, he enrolled at the University of Southern California, initially intending to study pre-law. However, Wayne found himself more drawn to sports, particularly football, than to academic life. Despite his academic aspirations, his athletic abilities, and imposing physical stature caught the attention of those around him, steering him away from law and into the world of film. In a twist of fate, Wayne's entry into the movie business came after a chance encounter with director Raoul Walsh. Walsh, who was impressed with Wayne's physicality and presence, offered him a role as a prop boy on the set of a film. This humble beginning marked the start of Wayne's slow climb up the Hollywood ladder. He worked as a prop boy and later a stuntman before earning small roles in Western films. It wasn't until 1939, when John Ford cast him in Stagecoach, that Wayne's career truly took off. The film catapulted him to stardom, establishing him as the quintessential cowboy hero. The role was transformative, and audiences quickly fell in love with his rugged demeanor and strong, silent presence. For the next 3 decades, John Wayne would become synonymous with Westerns, dominating the genre with legendary films such as The Searchers, True Grit, and Rio Bravo. His image as a man of action, courage, and unyielding loyalty embodied the core values of the American frontier. Wayne's portrayal of the quintessential Western hero helped shape not only his career, but also the public's understanding of American masculinity. Yet, while his on-screen persona was that of the rugged hero, Wayne's off-screen life was fraught with challenges. He faced early financial instability, with many struggles stemming from the hardships of the Great Depression. His determination to succeed in Hollywood was tested repeatedly, but Wayne's persistence paid off. By the late 1940s, he had cemented his position as a leading man. Still, his rise to fame was not without its complications. Behind the heroic roles and larger-than-life persona, Wayne contended with doubts and personal battles that would only become more complicated as his fame grew. John Wayne's journey from a humble Midwestern boy to Hollywood royalty was marked by his steadfast ambition and personal struggles, giving depth to the legend that would become an American icon. His early life and perseverance helped shape the image of the rugged cowboy he became, but it was the balance of on-screen success and personal adversity that would define the man behind the myth. What did it take for John Wayne to ascend from a stuntman to Hollywood royalty, and how did his early life shape his iconic image? The tough guy image. John Wayne is often remembered as the embodiment of strength, stoicism, and bravery, the very definition of American masculinity. On screen, he was the rugged cowboy or fearless war hero, unwavering in the face of danger, always standing firm for justice. His roles became the gold standard for toughness, courage, and moral clarity. Audiences admired the way he portrayed the quintessential American hero, someone who never backed down, no matter the odds. However, behind the scenes, the man who became an icon for strength and heroism grappled with personal struggles that didn't match his on-screen image. In his private life, Wayne faced a variety of challenges, from personal insecurities to controversies that would follow him throughout his career. While his public persona was of the unshakable, all-American hero, his real life was far more complex. Wayne's internal conflicts were often at odds with the stoic figures he portrayed in his films. He wrestled with doubts and fears, and his political views, staunchly conservative and often outspoken, brought him both fervent supporters and vocal detractors. His remarks, especially about race, gender, and social issues, became a source of controversy. As the social landscape shifted in the 1960s and 1970s, many of Wayne's opinions were perceived as outdated or even offensive by a growing number of people. This divide between his on-screen image and his real-life beliefs created a tense dynamic that would complicate his legacy. Despite the controversies, Wayne's image remained an enduring symbol of American ideals for many. He was seen as a man who stood for values like courage, loyalty, and strength. But the contrast between the unyielding characters he played and his own vulnerability left many wondering, was John Wayne truly the hero we saw on screen, or was he simply a man struggling with his own flaws and contradictions? This question continues to spark debates about the nature of heroism, fame, and the complexities of the man behind the legend. Was John Wayne's tough guy image a mask to cover his personal insecurities, or did it reflect his true nature? The hidden world of John Wayne's personal life. Behind the tough exterior, John Wayne's personal life was filled with complexity, contradictions, and a series of relationships that revealed a very different side of the man. While his on-screen roles were defined by their ruggedness and moral clarity, the reality of his private life was far more tumultuous. Over the course of his life, Wayne was married 3 times. His first marriage, to Josephine Saenz, began in 1933 and lasted for 12 years. While the couple appeared to be the model of a stable, long-term partnership, their marriage was far from perfect. As Wayne's career soared, so did his fame, and with it came the temptations and distractions of Hollywood life. Infidelity became a recurring issue, and Josephine, who had stood by him through the ups and downs of his early career, finally reached her breaking point. The couple divorced in 1945, and this public split revealed cracks in the image of the devoted family man that Wayne worked so hard to project. The effects of his personal shortcomings, especially his extramarital affairs, left their mark on his reputation. Wayne's second marriage, to actress Esperanza Bauer in 1946, proved to be even shorter. Their union was troubled from the start, with both parties struggling to balance Wayne's demanding career and personal conflicts. The marriage lasted only a few years, ending in 1954, a clear sign that Wayne was still unable to maintain the emotional connections he portrayed in his on-screen roles. It was in his third marriage to Pilar Payete, whom he married in 1954, that Wayne would experience the longest relationship of his life. Pilar, a Peruvian actress, became his partner for 25 years, and together they had 3 children. On the surface, their marriage seemed to be a picture of stability. However, beneath this exterior, their relationship was far from perfect. Like his previous marriages, it faced significant challenges. Wayne's constant travel, his ever-demanding career, and his personal demons continued to put a strain on their union. Despite these pressures, their marriage endured for a quarter of a century. Yet Wayne's personal struggles with intimacy and commitment lingered, creating an emotional distance between them. In addition to his marital complications, Wayne's personal life was further marred by numerous affairs, which were well known within Hollywood circles. His extramarital relationships seemed at odds with the image of loyalty and steadfastness he portrayed on screen. The public was drawn to Wayne's larger-than-life persona, but behind the scenes, he was a man who struggled with his own vulnerabilities and temptations. His inability to maintain monogamy created a stark contrast to the unwavering, loyal hero he became famous for playing in films. Wayne's relationships, particularly his struggles with commitment and fidelity, challenged the myth of the perfect American hero. Was the man who captivated audiences with his portrayal of courage and integrity also a deeply flawed man in his private life? What role did his personal turmoil play in shaping his legacy? These are the questions that continue to define the complex and sometimes contradictory nature of John Wayne, a man whose public image was built on strength and honor, yet whose personal life remained a struggle behind closed doors. John Wayne's personal life may have been full of contradictions, but what was hidden behind the walls of his mansion holds even more secrets. Let's uncover the intriguing discoveries that reveal a different side of the icon. What was hidden in the mansion? When John Wayne passed away in 1979, his mansion in Newport Beach, California, became a symbol of his legacy and the wealth he had accumulated throughout his Hollywood career. The property, with its expansive rooms and picturesque views, was a reflection of his success. However, much like the man himself, the mansion concealed secrets that would only be uncovered years later, offering the world a new perspective on the icon. Over the years, as his estate was sorted and his personal belongings were examined, a treasure trove of items from Wayne's life came to light. These items, many of which had been tucked away in hidden parts of his home, revealed a more intimate side of the man behind the larger-than-life cowboy image. Among the findings were over 700 personal items, including letters, photographs, memorabilia, and scripts. Many of these artifacts had never been seen by the public, raising questions about what John Wayne had kept hidden from the world. Perhaps the most intriguing discovery was a sealed letter, the contents of which remain a mystery to this day. The secrecy surrounding this letter has sparked much speculation. What did Wayne write in this letter? And why was it kept hidden for so long? Was it a personal message intended for someone close to him, or did it contain reflections on his life, career, and legacy that he didn't want to share with the public? The unanswered questions surrounding this letter have only deepened the intrigue, adding a layer of mystery to Wayne's private world that has yet to be fully explored. Alongside the letter, a collection of rare photographs and personal mementos were found. These photographs offered a much more intimate view of the Hollywood legend, showing Wayne in moments that contrasted sharply with the tough, heroic persona he had perfected on screen. Some of these images depicted him with friends, family, and in more vulnerable settings, shedding light on the man behind the iconic cowboy. These candid shots presented a side of Wayne that had rarely been seen by the public, revealing a person who, despite his legendary on-screen presence, had real human emotions and struggles. Many of the items discovered were eventually put up for auction, creating a buzz among collectors and fans eager to own a piece of Hollywood history. However, some items remained with Wayne's family or in the hands of private collectors, adding to the ongoing mystery surrounding the man's personal life. It's likely that some treasures, memories, and letters still remain undiscovered, locked away in the possession of those closest to the family or in undisclosed collections. The discoveries at Wayne's mansion raised questions about what else might be hidden in the estate, and why he chose to keep certain aspects of his life so private. What was it about his personal life that he felt needed to be concealed from the public? Was there a deeper, more complex side to John Wayne that the world never got to see? The items uncovered in the mansion allowed fans and historians alike to rethink the man behind the myth, offering a new perspective on the complexities that defined his legacy. The mansion, once just a luxurious home, had become a symbol of the secrets that lay hidden for so long, offering a glimpse into the more private side of a man who had been regarded as one of the most iconic figures in American cinema. As fascinating as the artifacts and letters were, there was one discovery that left an even deeper mystery: John Wayne's will. What it revealed about his family's future would shock many, sparking debates that continue to this day. Let's dive into the family drama and the secrets behind his final wishes. The mysterious will. When John Wayne passed away in 1979, his death brought not only a wave of mourning from his fans, but also a series of questions surrounding his personal life and the distribution of his estate. The most striking of these questions arose from the contents of Wayne's will, particularly the fact that his third wife, Pilar Palete, was conspicuously excluded from it. Despite being married to Wayne for over 25 years, Pilar was not a beneficiary of his estate, a decision that sent shockwaves through the family and the public. The will, filed by Wayne's lawyer John S. Warren, was a 27-page document that outlined the actor's final wishes. His estate, valued at approximately $6.85 million, was divided primarily among his children, with each child receiving a sum calculated based on their age at the time of Wayne's death. For example, Wayne's eldest son, Michael, who was 44 years old at the time, received a substantial amount of $115,000. While Wayne's children were the primary beneficiaries of his estate, his third wife, Pilar, despite their long marriage, was not included in the distribution of his wealth. This omission immediately raised questions. Why was Pilar excluded after so many years together? Some speculated that Pilar's moving out from their house in 1971 could have played a role in the decision. Despite their lengthy marriage, it appeared that the relationship had cooled in the years leading up to Wayne's death, and the estrangement between them was reportedly deep. Although Pilar was not included in the will, it was noted that she had been provided for in the separation agreement. This legal provision meant that Pilar would receive a certain amount of financial support, but it was not the same as being included in Wayne's final estate plan. Beyond the exclusion of Pilar, the will revealed other surprising details about Wayne's financial management and the distribution of his wealth. Wayne's estate was surprisingly modest for a man of his fame and fortune. The bulk of his estate was in personal property, valued at $5.75 million, with another $1 million in real property and $100,000 in income from holdings. This was a far cry from the vast fortune that many had expected for the Hollywood icon. In addition, Wayne's extensive collection of art, American Indian artifacts, and other treasures was directed to organizations that could provide tax deductions for the estate. This move seemed to reflect Wayne's desire to support causes that were important to him, while also ensuring that his estate would benefit from the financial advantages that charitable donations offered. While Pilar's exclusion remained a focal point of intrigue, there were other provisions of the will that raised questions about Wayne's relationship with his family. Notably, Wayne had also excluded Donald LaCava, the husband of his eldest daughter, Toni. It was not explained why LaCava was left out, and his exclusion from the will, along with the lack of provisions for Pilar, suggested that Wayne's personal relationships were more complicated than his public persona let on. The will also included provisions for Wayne's first wife, Josephine Sayans, from whom he divorced in 1945. Wayne's estate promised to provide her with monthly checks of $3,000, which would continue after her death and be divided among their 4 children. This provision seemed to indicate that, despite their divorce, Wayne still held some sense of responsibility toward his first wife and their children. Josephine's inclusion in the will contrasted sharply with Pilar's exclusion, adding to the ongoing mystery surrounding the actors' personal relationships. Furthermore, Wayne's financial interests were far-reaching. His ranch in Arizona, which he owned through stock in a corporation, was included in his estate, along with his home on Newport Harbor and property on Puget Sound in Washington. His preferred stock in Batjock Productions, the movie production company he founded, was also part of the estate and was passed on to his son Michael, who had long been a key figure in the company. This decision further emphasized Wayne's desire to ensure that his children, particularly Michael, would continue to manage his legacy after his death. The absence of Pilar from the will raises numerous questions about the personal dynamics between John Wayne and his third wife. Were there unresolved issues or emotional distance that led Wayne to leave her out? Was this exclusion a reflection of deeper tensions in their marriage? Or was it simply a matter of financial and practical decision-making in his final years? Furthermore, what role did his estrangement from Pilar play in shaping his views on family and wealth? Did he feel that his children, whom he had raised and worked with, should be the primary recipients of his estate? Or did he seek to distance himself from Pilar in his final days? The questions surrounding Wayne's will provide a stark contrast to the image of the tough, unflinching hero that he portrayed on screen. Despite his larger-than-life persona, his private life and financial decisions reveal a man who was complex, vulnerable, and deeply conflicted. The exclusion of Pilar, in particular, serves as a reminder that even the most iconic figures are not immune to the emotional and personal struggles that shape all of us. As the Wayne family continued to process the implications of his will, the public was left to speculate about the true nature of his relationships and the motivations behind his final decisions. In the end, the mysterious will became another layer in the complex legacy of John Wayne, a man whose image as a steadfast hero stood in stark contrast to the private turmoil and complicated personal life he experienced behind the scenes. As the mystery of John Wayne's will unravels, another hidden part of his life emerges: the Wild Goose yacht. But this isn't just any yacht. It holds secrets that reveal even more about the legend himself, the Wild Goose. John Wayne's yacht, the Wild Goose, was much more than just an expensive plaything. It was a symbol of his success and a private sanctuary. The yacht offered Wayne an escape from the frenetic pace of Hollywood, providing a place where he could retreat from his public persona and enjoy some peace. Over the years, it became a stage for some of the most personal and private moments of his life. Not only did he host friends and family on the Wild Goose, but he also entertained influential figures from the worlds of business and politics, using the yacht as a setting for confidential meetings. Rumors swirled around the yacht for years, with some suggesting it was the site of clandestine conversations about Wayne's personal and political views. The Wild Goose played host to discussions and debates that were perhaps as significant as the ones Wayne had on the silver screen. From the outside, it seemed like just another luxury yacht, but those who were close to Wayne knew it was much more. A space where Wayne could reflect, negotiate, and engage in dialogues that went beyond the public eye. Whether the conversations were about his political beliefs or private matters, the yacht represented a space where Wayne could truly be himself away from the scrutiny of Hollywood. In a curious twist, despite its importance to Wayne's personal life, the Wild Goose was sold shortly before his death in 1979. Although Wayne had often said he would never part with the yacht, the decision to sell it was likely tied to the state of his finances and his need to get his affairs in order. This move spoke volumes about the complexities of Wayne's life, how a man who embodied the image of unwavering strength and independence could have his world shaken by financial strains and personal choices. What makes the Wild Goose especially intriguing is its continued legacy. Even after Wayne's death, the yacht remained a symbol of his wealth, his tastes, and his private world. What did the Wild Goose hold within its walls? What secrets did it carry? And how did it reflect a side of John Wayne that was hidden from the public eye? The yacht remains a point of fascination for many, leaving a mystery that may never be fully solved. But while the Wild Goose symbolized Wayne's wealth, his financial reality told a different story. Despite his immense success, his fortune was far from secure. What really happened to John Wayne's wealth? A fortune that vanished. John Wayne's career spanned decades, and throughout that time, he amassed a fortune that many believed would have secured his family's future for generations. However, when he passed away in 1979, his financial legacy did not reflect the wealth one would expect from a Hollywood icon. Despite starring in some of the most successful films of all time, his estate was surprisingly modest, leading many to ask, what happened to all his money? At the height of his career, Wayne's wealth was tied to the royalties and residuals from his extensive filmography. His films continued to perform well long after their initial release, but despite this steady income stream, Wayne's financial decisions were often far from prudent. His reputation for living a lavish lifestyle, complete with expensive homes, luxury cars, and his beloved yacht, the Wild Goose, played a significant role in draining his resources. While Wayne enjoyed the fruits of his success, his extravagant purchases often came without careful consideration, leading to financial instability. Wayne's love for property further complicated his financial situation. Throughout his life, he bought and sold various homes, including an impressive mansion in Newport Beach, California. These investments were often impulsive, and the costs quickly added up. His estate included not only real estate, but also multiple business ventures and assets that were poorly managed, contributing to the overall financial challenges he faced in his later years. Additionally, Wayne's personal life affected his wealth. His 3 marriages, though foundational to his personal life, were financially taxing. His multiple divorces, particularly his strained relationship with his 3rd wife, Pilar, created complications when it came to asset division. Even though Wayne and Pilar were married for over 25 years, the decision to exclude her from his will and leave his fortune primarily to his children raised eyebrows. The lack of planning around his finances, combined with his complex personal relationships, meant that his wealth did not endure as expected. In the aftermath of Wayne's death, his children were left to inherit what was left of his estate. But the disappointment over the relatively small inheritance was palpable. The vast fortune Wayne had appeared to amass over the years had dwindled, leaving scattered assets and memories of a man who had once embodied American wealth and success. His financial decisions, combined with a lavish lifestyle and personal conflicts, left behind a legacy of unanswered questions. What happened to the money that seemed so abundant throughout his career? Why didn't his fortune stand the test of time? Despite his financial struggles, Wayne's legacy endures in ways other than wealth. His films, his cultural influence, and his persona live on. However, his financial choices serve as a stark reminder that even the most successful figures can face difficulties behind closed doors. What were the true costs of his lifestyle? And how did his lack of planning affect his legacy in ways beyond the screen? As John Wayne's financial struggles came to light, let's uncover the truth behind what really happened in his final days. What led to the end of an era for the Hollywood legend? The final days. As John Wayne's life neared its end, he faced his most personal battle, cancer. Known for playing tough, larger-than-life characters, Wayne's illness revealed a side of him few had ever seen. The indomitable star, who had made a career out of portraying unyielding heroes, was now forced to confront his own vulnerability. In his final months, Wayne's family, particularly his children, took on the role of his primary caregivers. Despite a strained relationship with his third wife, Pilar, his children provided the comfort and support he needed. The emotional distance from Pilar added complexity to his final days, but his children stepped in to ease his burden. Their support and care revealed a softer, more fragile side of the man who had long embodied strength. As Wayne approached the end of his life, his reflections on his legacy became unavoidable. His battle with illness, combined with ongoing personal struggles, left him more introspective. He questioned how history would remember him, as the stoic, brave cowboy who symbolized American ideals, or as a more flawed man, complicated by his personal choices and beliefs. Wayne's death in 1979 marked the end of an era in Hollywood. The world lost one of its most iconic stars, but Wayne left behind a legacy marked by contradictions. The tough, unflinching hero on screen was ultimately just a man, one who had to come to terms with his own mortality and legacy in his final moments. But how did Wayne's passing leave his legacy in the balance? And how would the public continue to view him after his death? What does John Wayne's legacy really mean? As time passed after John Wayne's death, the question of how to remember him only grew more complicated. Wayne's legacy is one of contradiction, blending the rugged image of the American hero with the flaws and controversies of his personal life. On screen, he embodied the ideals of strength, patriotism, and perseverance. Off-screen, however, his personal life was marked by struggles, infidelities, and opinions that were at times divisive. The tension between the man Wayne was in his films and the man he was in real life raises questions about how we should interpret his place in history. He became a symbol of the American West and strength, but his real-life persona, with its complexities and contradictions, complicated that image. Can we truly separate the man from the myth? Or is it his flaws that make him all the more human, and, in turn, relatable? While Wayne remains a symbol of enduring strength, his controversial views and personal choices have made him a divisive figure. As his legacy continues to evolve, we are left grappling with the question of whether his personal life should affect how we remember his cinematic contributions. As the years go by, we must ask ourselves, how should Wayne's legacy be remembered? What was found beneath John Wayne's mansion sheds new light on his legacy, adding layers of mystery to the Hollywood icon. If you found this fascinating, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell for more exclusive revelations. See you next time.